Dear audience in China, thank you so much for watching the Ferruccio Busoni piano competition on Amadeus.tv. We are not only delighted, we are overwhelmed by the number of people watching the competition in China, and we are just humbled and glad that you are in us in this endeavor that has started in Bolzano over 70 years ago. But now, it is my pleasure to introduce the first member of this year's jury who has kindly agreed to join us for an interview. Alexander Romanovsky, who won the Busoni Prize himself. He's a first prize winner at the tender age of 17 years. And he has been living in Italy since his early teens. So, when was the last time you've been to Bolzano?
Well, it was a few years ago for the concerts, and for me it's very nice to be here right this year because it's exactly 20 years ago when I won the competition. So it's kind of symbolic.
Have you served on other juries over the last 2 years during the pandemic times?
Well, I don't like so much to be a member of the jury myself because on one side the thing I know and I love to do most is obviously to play the piano and to perform for the audiences. So being in the jury, it takes time from my main work. On the other side, I also understand how much important is for young musicians to have an indication on what they have and what they can do to perceive their dreams. And I think in this aspect the competitions are crucial, and being able to give my little contribution to this, being a member of the jury or being an artistic director for a competition of maybe one of the biggest competitions in the world, Krajnev competition for young musicians up to 22 years old, is what I can do to help them to understand better what they can expect from a life of a musician, and to help them to avoid maybe some mistakes. Me in first place, having been exactly in their place only a few years ago.
And without speaking obviously about anyone in particular, so far, what is your general impression now that we are halfway through the first stage? Are you?
Well,
what's your?
I'm very happy to see that there is big diversity. Diversity of musical schools which these contestants represent, and because I always support the opinion that the musical world is big and various, and the most we can do to show to people, to audiences, that you can achieve great artistic results through different ways. I'm absolutely sure that the truth is one, but the ways to achieve this truth are infinite, and music is a demonstration of that. So I've seen that here, well, we haven't heard all the contestants till now, but here we have this diversity, and I think that we'll be able to choose among this diversity the one which convinces us the most.
And so one last question, apart from the work by Busoni himself in the first round, the repertoire is pretty open to the candidate's choice. Have you been surprised? Were there like things you didn't expect that were not classical, like competition repertoire, or was it pretty what you expected?
Well, I was surprised, but not enough. I would like to be surprised more, because I think also the young musicians have to give up a little bit this contestant mindset, and be a little bit more to take competition as a opportunity to show their true nature, because this is what we want to see from them, and this is what audience and their future audience want to see from them. So yes, I think now we are in big time of changes, which is difficult, which is challenging, but on the other side it gives us, musicians of all generations, a big opportunity to find new ways, and maybe in normal times these new ways would be almost impossible to perceive, but in this time when everything is a little bit in change, this ways becomes more and more possible. So we have to take this opportunity and carry on what is the most important to us. I mean, the sense and beauty of classical music.
Thank you so much.
Cheers.